Funny story, I went to a little girl's birthday party and came away with a keyboard. It was not her keyboard, and I guess it also sounds a little weird that I just went to a little girl's birthday party. I was not invited to the party. That also sounds bad. My kid was invited to the birthday party, and so I went with my kid to this little girl's birthday party. I was not just showing up uninvited to a little girl's birthday party, but the point is, when I got there, I was not expecting to leave with a Svalboard, but when I left, I had just that. I had a Svalboard kit right here. I am so sorry for this really horrible camera work. I guess it's what you have to live with if you're gonna watch this channel. One of my favorite things about running my own YouTube channel is it's like the one thing, or one of the very few things, my YouTube channel and my kids, that I'm just totally free to screw up. Like if I want to experiment by hand holding a camera, which last time I know it was extremely shaky and made a lot of you sick, and I'm sorry, but not sorry. I was not sorry for experimenting. I'm still not sorry for experimenting, but okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So where were we? Little girl's birthday party and keyboard. This was actually a family member. So it was a family member who is also a programmer, and he got this Svalboard. He ordered it a while ago, and we got talking because, you know, we talk about keyboards. He has a Voyager, this beauty right here. Love that keyboard. Other funny story, he also had the Navigator, the new trackball for the Voyager. So actually got to try the Voyager out. Yeah, I'll talk about the Navigator because I've been asked by, you know, a couple people on the channel about if I'm going to review the Navigator. I guess the short answer is I'm not planning on it right now. I'm not planning on buying a Navigator. And there's a couple reasons for that, but really it just comes down to money. Like, it doesn't make financial sense for me to get the Navigator when I don't plan on using it long term. And ZSA, their website, they have a page on there. It's like why you should trust us, and they explain the thought process behind affiliate programs and reviews. And basically it makes it sound like if you're not a big publisher, or if you're not as cool as Ben Valek, which I probably am not as cool as Ben Valek, then they won't send you stuff to review. So yeah, I would like them to send me a Navigator, but I don't blame them if they don't. If they do, they'd certainly get an honest review from me. One of the recent comments that I got on my channel said something along the lines of, I better just read it. Let me find it real quick. All right, I found it. It's from Michael Soft Binbos 95. Great profile picture, by the way. Anyway, he says, I just want to say thank you. You're one of a select few creators that I consider just as anal as I am when it comes to peripherals. I mean, isn't that just heartwarming? So yeah, anal is, I guess, the name of the game. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? Anyway, unless ZSA sends me a Navigator to do a review, I'm probably not, because yeah, it costs $165 for the trackball, and I'm not using the Voyager as my daily driver. I'm still on the Charybdis right here, and as you can see, I have all these 3D printed parts, which I'm actually reprinting, because maybe we should talk about the Svalboard now. It's an interesting situation. So back to the little girl's birthday party, I was talking to my brother who got the Svalboard, and he told me that he was dreading putting it together. And of course I wanted to strike up a deal, because I've been eyeing this keyboard for a really long time. It's probably the #1 requested keyboard that I take a look at on my channel as of right now. It's probably a three-way tie between the Svalboard, the Naya Create, and the Cyboard Imprint. But the point is, I've been wanting to get this keyboard for a while, but yeah, it's really expensive. Just for the self-print kit, man, I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but it's a lot of money. It's almost as much money as just getting a pre-built keyboard, like pretty much any of these keyboards here, except for probably the Kali 42, which is, you know, a DIY kit, so you can't really, you know, you can't buy it pre-made, at least not that I know of. But anyway, it was a kind of a weird situation trying to get access to the repository for the Svalboard that has all the files so that you can 3D print it. To be honest, I am questioning if it was wise for me to try to do the build for this, because I'm not gonna lie, it's been a pretty convoluted process. So the repository has all the files in it, but this keyboard is highly customizable. I don't think I've seen a more customizable keyboard than this, and I guess this is a spoiler alert. This comes on the heels of me placing an order a couple weeks ago for the Cyboard Imprint. So surprise, if you're watching this part, that keyboard is coming, order is placed. I don't know when it'll arrive, but I imagine it'll be in the next couple weeks. But with the Cyboard Imprint, when you order that, you have to take a picture of your hand, and you like get a credit card, and you have to hold the credit card up with your fingers and put it against a blank wall so that they can use that to determine your hand size and print a keyboard that is customized to fit your specific hand. But the Svalboard is taking that to like a totally different level. So, all right. I wasn't planning on doing this because it's kind of crazy, but so I printed this sheet off right here. This is the sizer chart. So you have all these different little spots that you're supposed to put your finger on to determine the different key switches, which are, I guess, these right here. So I'm printing a bunch of them right now. I think I picked the right sizes after probably like 2 hours of trying to figure it out, because it was hurting my brain. So, but basically we have this sizer chart right here. So these are my measurements right here, is 15, 17, 18, 16, 17, 18, 17, 15. And I just did that by putting my fingers on here until like it seemed to match. And then after you do that, so that's the size of your finger, you have these like brackets. So like 14, 15, and 16 millimeters would fit under the 16 millimeter keys, and same with 16 and 17 would fit under the 17 millimeter keys, and then 17, 18, and you get the point. So you kind of have to convert your finger size from the measurement that you got here to one of these sizes right here. But then that's not all. It's very customizable. So basically there's all these different variations depending on your finger size and the thickness that you want the keys to be at, as well as I'm guessing the like actuation force. There were numbers that said 20G, 16G, and like 10G. I'm assuming that has to do with like gram force stuff, but I honestly I don't know. And my brain was hurting so bad from looking at it that I just kind of went with what I think was the right choice. But then when you look at the files in the repository, the naming conventions don't really make a lot of sense. I'm trying not to be critical here, because holy cow, this seems like a crazy project for one person to handle. I don't know if it is just one person. I'm assuming it's one person. I actually have no idea. I can't speak to that. But I went diving down into the Discord because I was feeling so lost with trying to figure out which files I needed to use to print the keys that I needed for all the different things. Oh, great. And of course I have some stringing, and yep, definitely gonna have to reprint those. All right, now I need to look this up. Hold on. All right, so here it is from Discord. He explains the file name convention. You can download a .3mf file that is just like, a project file that has all the different pieces in it. And so this is what it looks like. So these are all the different pieces, and when you look at what the file names are for them, they are just, they're not very clear. There's a lot of numbers, so like 7, 0, and 0.7. Sorry, that wasn't even on the camera, but yeah, so all these numbers mean something, but it's really not clear. At least it was not clear to me when I was looking through the README files in the repository of what means what. But I finally found that Discord message. So he explains the nomenclature is there's height, thickness beyond the magnet face. It says fact, I think he meant face though, and magnet offset. So that's gonna be like 6 millimeters, an offset of 1, and a height of 0.7. The recommended height, if you're starting out, is 6 millimeters. So that's what I have right here. It says 6 millimeters, and then there's the thickness and an offset. So for me, the 16 millimeters corresponds to a 1 millimeter offset. And so with a 6 millimeter height, the 1 for the 1mm offset, and then 0.7 for I already forgot what it was, the magnet offset, where the 0.07 offset corresponds to 20G, which once again I think that's 20 grams for like the actuation force, but I really don't I don't know. Maybe there were like instructions that I didn't get because I didn't actually purchase this myself. I just got it through my brother. But I've been going through the build guide. I guess it's all there, but it's a lot of hunting. So I guess my initial impression of the Svalboard so far is this is a keyboard for really desperate people. And I honestly might be joining that club soon, just the way that my RSI has been, and it really doesn't seem to take much for me to get a pretty bad flare-up. I've been trying to put a bunch of time recently into the Digma-Rays 1, which is right here. I know it's hanging upside down. It looks like it's not being used at all, but I've been putting in some gaming time. You know, it's work related, so it's okay. But I still don't have a very good solution for the mouse while I'm gaming. I want to get a vertical mouse for gaming specifically, but I've just been going back to my Logitech mouse. As much as this has helped in the past with its more ergonomic shape, still I have issues now with just, I guess, getting old. Anyway, whatever the reason, it sucks, and something like the Svalboard is probably gonna be the thing that helps me continue my career for the next, I don't know, 20 years, or you know, however long it takes for someone such as myself to finally just burn out from the software industry. No, that's really cynical. I still really enjoy being a software engineer. Recent years have been interesting, to say the least, with all the AI stuff. I have so many thoughts on that, but also I'm really sick of watching stuff on YouTube about AI, and so I'm trying not to contribute to that much, but yeah, it's a topic that I think about quite a lot. Another thing I'm really excited to do a comparison with once I get the Svalboard working and get typing on it. Hopefully I'll be able to actually type on it, unlike the Master Forge, which I've just, oh man, I feel guilty because I really wanted to learn this thing, but it's ended up just kind of sitting on my desk. I put it on my desk and did that so that I would look at it more often and pull it out and type on it, but I don't know, it just hasn't happened. But one thing I can say is, if you don't want to go through the whole build process for the Svalboard, but you also don't want to spend upwards of $1,000 for a completely pre-built Svalboard, then I think that actually makes a pretty compelling argument for getting the Master Forge or the Caracorder 2, because it has some of the same ergonomic benefits, namely around very minimal finger movement, but for a fraction of the price. My gut feeling is that most people are not going to suffer from RSI issues to the point where they would need something like the Svalboard, but you could still get a lot of the same benefits using something like the Master Forge. So yeah, I don't know, that's something to think about, but still, it's in the early phases here. I still can't type on this. I used to know all the keys, and I pulled it out a couple days ago and I forgot half of them. So yeah, I'm also trying Colmac. My Colmac typing speed is up to, you know, like 40 words per minute. I can get it up to 50 if I'm, you know, feeling really good. I've been just feeling that itch to finally make the jump to Colmac. But then once again, I don't know. If I get this Svalboard working and I end up really liking it and wanting to get one myself, because eventually I am gonna give this keyboard back because I didn't pay for it. It's not mine. So yeah, I guess that's kind of it. It's just kind of a stream of consciousness today. Hopefully the camera work was not too bad, and I am patently terrible at doing YouTube endings.